Hello, I am here today with another fun Cricut project to share with you, and that is putting vinyl on pumpkins. These aren't real pumpkins, they are the fake like foamy ones from the craft store, which is great because then they will last every season. So I have a couple different ideas for you. You can just take any fun like Halloween phrase. There are lots of fun Halloween shapes and sayings on the Cricut Access that you can download and cut out and put on your pumpkins. And you can see this one here. I even added a little bit of colored vinyl, some gold to give it a little bit more dimension. So that's kind of fun. But the one that I'm most excited to share with you today is this 5 Little Pumpkins project. And I don't know if you were like me and if you grew up reciting the 5 Little Pumpkins poem. I still remember doing crafts from it in preschool and saying the poem over and over again. So I decided to make 5 little pumpkins, and they each have a little speech bubble that says part of the poem on it. So if you want to make it even more authentic, you can find a little fence to put them on, the 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate, or you could just line the walkway with all 5 of them, or put them on your stairs that lead up to your porch. Anything like that would look super cute. So I'm going to show you step by step how to make one of the 5 little pumpkins with the speech bubble, because that can get a little bit tricky with the large speech bubble on a curved pumpkin surface. But don't worry, I'll show you exactly how to do it. I've done it 5 times. So I perfected the process of getting that on there nice and smooth. To make the pumpkins, you'll need pumpkins, of course. I just got these ones at the craft store. There were bigger ones and smaller ones. Since it's 5 little pumpkins, I went with the smaller. I'm using a removable vinyl. You could use a permanent one if you want it to be a little bit more weatherproof and more durable, but then it's going to be a little bit harder to stick on your pumpkin, and you'll see why later. So you can use either removable or permanent. You'll need transfer tape. And then I'm using my standard grip Cricut mat. And then of course your Cricut machine, and I'm using my Cricut Maker. To make our speech bubbles, we're gonna go to images and search for speech bubble. And then I'm using this one right here. Go to add to canvas. And you'll see here it's in 2 different parts. All I want is the outline part. So I'm gonna click and drag to select both. And go down here to slice, and then we're left with this nice outline part, and you can go ahead and delete the other 2 parts. Go ahead and change that to black. Go ahead and type in, "Oh my, it's getting late," and we want that to be centered. And then you can use whatever font you want, and then go ahead and just resize it. Change that to black. And then you'll want to resize the whole thing to fit on your pumpkin. So depending on how big your pumpkin is, it might be bigger or smaller. I ended up making mine 5 inches wide. And once you have that first one, go ahead and copy and paste 4 more of them and type in the words for the other ones. You want to make sure that the words are centered in the speech bubble. Click and drag to select both of them, and then click attach so that way they will cut together. Go ahead and click make it and select vinyl as your material. Put your vinyl on your mat. I'm only cutting 1 out right now because I already did the other ones. Load that up. And then click the flashing Cricut button to cut. Cut around the speech bubble just to cut off the excess vinyl. And we're going to weed away the extra vinyl. So now we've got it all weeded out. Grab a piece of your transfer tape, about the same size as your paper backing for your vinyl. Peel off the backing. Place the transfer tape on your design. And then rub that down really good. Go ahead and peel off your vinyl. And the good thing about the non-permanent vinyl is it doesn't stick stick very well until you actually press it down. So just before pressing it down, make sure that it's centered where you want it. And if you're doing the other 5 pumpkins, make sure they're all kind of at the same level, or it's gonna look funny when they're all in a row. So I'm first sticking on the letters. Don't worry about rubbing the speech bubble part down. Actually, you don't want that stuck down at all at this point. So starting at the middle, just kind of start getting those letters stuck down as best you can without them getting any wrinkles in them. Work on each individual letter. Grab a pair of scissors. What we're gonna do is cut around the inside of the speech bubble around the letters. So we're separating the letters from the speech bubble. So you might be thinking like, why didn't I just cut them separately? Well, that would have used a lot more vinyl, and then I would have had to like center the speech bubble over the letters, and I don't like centering things. I'm not very good at it. So that's why I do it all at one time. So just very carefully, and also these pumpkins mark up pretty easily, so be careful not to like jab it with your scissors. But cut around the letters just through that transfer tape, and try to keep the speech bubble in place. You can kind of rub the bottom down a little bit. Okay, once you've got that all cut out, rub all that down a little bit better. And then very carefully, because the letters are gonna wanna come up with your transfer tape, very carefully peel off the transfer tape. If you notice that stuff's starting to come up, go ahead and rub it down a little better. And I find it's helpful to use my hook tool to try and hold those down a little bit while I'm peeling up the tape. Once they're down and you have the transfer tape off, go ahead and like press on them some more just to make sure that they've got a good stick on there. So since this is a larger shape and it's one whole shape on this pumpkin, it gets a little bit distorted. So I will walk you through step by step how we're gonna get this to look nice on the pumpkin. We're gonna start at the bottom, just pick a spot and start rubbing that down. And then I'm gonna cut through the transfer tape and then peel that up and then rip it the rest of the way. So now it's separated from that side. So start slowly peeling that up. And now you see how this is just like a big bubble right there. What you need to do is, while you're peeling up the transfer tape, kind of carefully without stretching it, because it will get stretched and distorted, rub the vinyl down with your finger while you're peeling up the transfer tape. And then we're going to do something a little bit wonky here, which I normally would not do for a project, but I promise that it worked out and it looks fine. In one of these like creases in the pumpkin, I'm gonna go a little bit past it and I'm gonna actually just cut through the vinyl. And I tried different ways to get it to stick on there without doing this, and believe me, it doesn't work. So go ahead and leave that side. Now we're gonna work on this side and work our way up to that top where we cut it. So you can see right here, I've got a little bit of a wrinkle. So that's why it's nice that we're using the removable vinyl, because I can peel that up carefully and smooth it back down. And just do the same thing that we did on the other side. Peeling up the transfer tape as we smooth down the vinyl. And then I'm gonna cut it a little bit closer to that crease. And then the only reason I'm doing it in that crease is to make it less noticeable that I have a piece of vinyl that's cut right there. Okay, so then match those up as best you can, the two sides of the speech bubble. And then fold it back, where the pieces meet. Make sure that they overlap just a little bit, or you'll have some orange in there, and then you'll be able to see that it's cut. You don't want that. It's better for it to overlap. So cut that off, rub that down. So there you go. You can't even see the seam at all in the vinyl unless you were looking super closely, and no one is going to be looking that closely. So then just repeat this process with your 4 other pumpkins, and then your decoration is ready. That is it. I will leave a link to all of the Cricut supplies that I used in the description below, so make sure to check that out. I hope you are able to make some super cute pumpkins for your Halloween porch this year, and leave me a comment and let me know if you make the 5 little pumpkins, because those are my favorite. Head over to my blog, cutesy-crafts.com, for more fun craft ideas, and I hope you guys are all having a great start to your fall season.